Right, Nigeria's President-elect Muhammadu Buhari says he will rid the country of Boko Haram, saying they would, quote, soon know the strength of Nigerian collective will. Will he be able to do what incumbent Goodluck Jonathan failed to do? That is said to have caused his defeat. Security analysts say Boko Haram is only waiting to see Buhari's tactics on insurgency to act.
Nigeria's President-elect Muhammadu Buhari's popularity in the north translated into massive votes to get him into Aso Rock. Formerly, he was in support of Sharia law. However, after a failed assassination attempt on his life in July 2014, he made it clear insurgency will not be tolerated under his rule. How will Boko Haram operate under his presidency?
What we believe is that Boko Haram may be watching what kind of policies Buhari will put in place, whether it's going to be to the advantage or not. Because during elections, there was still some violence that was perpetrated by them. So I'm sure they'll be watching. They'll be testing Buhari's pulse and see what kind of approach he will use, whether he will target them radically or democratically, so to speak.
Security analysts say Buhari's tactics to curb insurgency will be clearer when he officially takes over power, even though he refused proposals to participate in talks with Boko Haram during campaigning.
Nigerians should not take anything for granted because Buhari is from the north and then maybe Boko Haram is going to disappear. The issues that brought about or created Boko Haram are still there. Poverty, structural deficiency in terms of development in Nigeria. So Boko Haram may disappear in terms of even name, but a new group could also arise. We've had Al-Qaeda, we had all this, now we have ISIS.
Many believe that his ability to have driven off invaders when some islands were annexed in '83 during his time as head of state proves he will do as he says, but the world must wait and see.
Also, Nigeria has successfully gone through another general election in what has been described as a watershed in its politics. But what implications will it have on politics in Nigeria and other African countries? The news team has been finding out.
For the first time in the history of Nigeria, an opposition party has wrestled political power from an incumbent president. Many political experts have lauded the conduct of the election. From planning, voting through to the declaration were peaceful according to ECOWAS mission observers. But after having gone through the election successfully, what are the implications for the country with the biggest economy and population in Africa? In terms of politics, a senior political science lecturer said its implications would have ramifications far beyond Nigeria's shores.
Nigeria is as I indicated, a sub-regional superpower. In ECOWAS, in regional politics, in regional integration, and so on. And one of the critical prime movers will be Nigeria. When they get it right, it has positive spillover effect on the rest of the country. You see, when when they are able to sanitize their politics, it will have a effect on all the other countries in a sub-region.
Dr. Agridako said politically, the outcome would sanitize governments in power as they could be changed in an election.
If a president fails, or is unable, or unwilling, or both, to deal with the problems of the day, you could be punished at the polls. The state must play this critical night watchman role effectively. If you can't do anything at all, if for nothing at all, the state should guarantee the safety of its citizens. If you are unable to do the basic things, right to life, property, liberty, etc., forget it.
He added by the outcome of the Nigerian elections, other African governments would be prompted to deliver on critical development issues.
Right, and we'll stay on Nigeria, this time with our very own Komla Klutse. He was in Nigeria for the election, and after he did fantastic live report, he's here to tell us his own account. Give us his own account of what it was, how it felt like to be there. Komla, well, welcome back, one. I'm glad you're back, you're well, nothing happened to you. That's always the first thing, but how was the experience like for you?
The experience, one, in terms of
coverage of the elections.
Absolutely.
I think it was one experience I've not had. I've covered local elections here in Ghana. I have not gone beyond the boundaries before, but this was an eye-opener. You are reporting from a different terrain, so you need to know the issues, know the people, know where you can stand and say what you can say and what you cannot say and all that. So it was a lot of experience, and you have to just learn on the go and study the environment and get to know the people and then learn as well. But then settling in the first day, I mean, I left here on Friday morning. I got there later in the afternoon. In the afternoon till the following day, the whole of the voting day, it was very, very hectic. You know, one thing I kept saying was connectivity. Mobile phone connectivity was down. I mean, you could not register your SIM card from Thursday to Friday, Saturday, because they had closed from work around 3 p.m.
Sure.
Who are you going to get to do the registration for you? And their system is such that when you buy a SIM card, it takes about between 3 hours and 24 hours. So I had to activate my roaming.
Okay, all right.
And
which was more expensive.
Yes, it was more expensive. Okay, but at the end of the day, I mean, the job needs to go on. Right. So
was the streets flooded with whether police or military? I mean, security in general.
Inundated with heavy security presence, especially in Abuja. In Abuja, if you move every 20 meters, you would see a police checkpoint, and the patrols were all over the place. But on the highways, the soldiers were there. People were speculating a lot of falsehood that the soldiers have been put at the polling station, but that was a blatant lie. The soldiers were at vantage points, entering into Abuja, going out of Abuja. You have to go to a very rigorous police military checkpoint. And you know, there's one thing about them. The Oga says, so whatever the Oga says,
that's the law.
He will not edit it. That is the instruction he has received. So yes, you are not supposed to go, you can't go. It was difficult. Vehicles were not moving. The only vehicles that you could see on the road were the INEC vehicles, the ECOWAS vehicles, or the diplomatic vehicles, and then police patrol. So to say that you would move freely yourself, even media houses and their cars, it was just very few of them that were accredited that could move.
Okay, I know. I mean, the elections was generally, I mean, peaceful. I know, but we had recorded a few violent cases. There were some protests. And did you witness any of that?
I did not personally witness any violence, except the fact that people were becoming agitated because INEC officials did not report on time. They were supposed to have reported at 8 p.m. for the verification, which should
8 a.m. or p.m.?
No, at 8 a.m.
Sure.
Sorry. Report at 8 a.m. for the verification. Between 8 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. Then thereafter, voting should commence. People had queued from 5 a.m. Some as early as 4 a.m. An old lady that I spoke to came there somewhere around 4:30 a.m. was there until around 5, almost 5 o'clock, that the INEC officials came. And with the loads of people there, how much time were they going to devote to verification before they start with the process? And you have to cross-check your names, your from the manual one, from the verification machine, and all of that. So it was one of the things that really caused. The issue of violence was not in Abuja, it was not in Lagos, it was actually in River State. There was an incident there.
Because I know they challenged some of the results from there. But what similarities? I saw a lot of similarities between what Nigerians and what Ghana do. Not because our chairman Afrajad consults for them, but in terms of the way they count, they vote. What were some of the differences or similarities you spotted in covering the elections?
In terms of voting, I think one of the things, this is the first time they've gone biometric. And this is just immediately after Ghana went to the polls, and we also used the biometric, and the hullabaloo or the backlash that came within the machine rejecting. One of the things that became a mockery around within the Nigerian media was a rejection of Goodluck.
Good Jonathan. It took him for 15 minutes. Yeah,
it took him a hell of a time. And looking at him, he actually didn't vote in Abuja. He went to his home to go and vote, and on TV when he was actually sweating.
Okay.
So you can imagine he being the main contender, and then a machine rejecting. If we had the system like we had in Ghana, that no verification, no vote, Goodluck would have been rejected and straight, and that would have a lot of implications.
All right. We'll talk more. I'll come back to ask about the man with the flawless Jega. That very calm man. I mean, nothing moved him, and we'll talk about him in a bit. And but before that, it was an election that was characterized with delays before voting. Yes, Nigerians, they defied and still voted. And Komla Klutse, who's here, put something together just for you.
This is polling unit. We never see any. We are here. Look at. I'll stop this one. We never see any INEC staff. Do you understand? We have been here by 6 o'clock. Nobody have ever come here.
So that is the concern of the people. This is, you can see.
See this one. People know that. Oh God, we need voters card. We don't get voters card. We need voters card.
Right, so just a little bit that Komla put together there, quite similar to what we see in our polling station, I must say. But what did you pick? What were the gossips that was going on with the Jega and the Yorubebe? What were people saying on the street? We were watching on television, but what were people saying about it?
As a matter of fact, myself, I was not watching when that incident happened, but I was monitoring on social media, on Twitter, and most of the Nigerians who were tweeting were like, "Who is that Urubebe guy? He's so rude." And I realized that no, there was something going on, so I quickly tuned into radio. Then I was hearing the exchanges, so I had to run and get TV. I got the TV, and it was just an awful scene. It was not pleasant at all. But a lot of people have commended Jega. I think he's somebody who is comparable to Ghana Safari Jan.
Yep, he consults for them.
Yes, and he was so calm. He allowed the man. Many were of the opinion that if Urubebe had been allowed, if he had not been prevented by the personal securities of Jega, he was actually going to physically assault him. But speaking to people who know him very well, they say he's so temperamental, and he could actually have done that. But when there were results flying in on social media and all that, Jega came in, and just one word at the press conference, he said, "I, as INEC chairman, I have not released any chairman. It's only me."
Absolutely. I like the way he addressed Urubebe, I must say.
Who is supposed to?
Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time. But Komla will be talking more about this, I'm sure, on Notebook on Sunday. So you should stay tuned and get more of the backstory on the Nigerian election. One word to describe your experience. One word. Try. Find a word.
There's some more to cover.
There's more. All right, then. We'll be right back.